Well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Apparently no rehydration clause, am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So, and why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best?
I can totally see Crawford outboxing Canelo like bad, making him look like taking him straight to school. But again, I do not see Crawford stopping Canelo. I don't see him knocking him out. I don't see any of that. I do see Crawford taking him to 12.
As part of making sure he defeats Canelo, Crawford has brought in none other than Floyd Mayweather Jr. for sparring sessions, a move that says everything about the seriousness of his approach. It's been confirmed that Mayweather is helping Crawford. Prepare for the defensive complexity and ring intelligence that Canelo brings. The connection is deeply symbolic. Mayweather was the first to easily dethrone Canelo back in 2013, and now 12 years later, he's helping Crawford script what could be the final chapter in the Mexican superstar's reign, according to Crawford's camp. This will force Crawford to sharpen his timing, to adapt on the fly, to tighten his footwork, and to revisit the kind of ring generalship he'll need against someone who's...
Along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes? If Canelo become undisputed again and I beat Canelo, what could they say?
Been walking through bigger men at 168 lbs for years. Crawford's camp is a blend of science and intensity. He's already begun high-level sparring not only with Mayweather, but also with Lester Martinez, the undefeated knockout artist from Guatemala. Martinez, a full-bodied super middleweight with real power, is a clear proxy for Canelo's size and strength. Crawford's team isn't leaving anything to chance. They've brought in partners who can push him, partners who can throw with the kind of explosive volume that Crawford rarely had to deal with at welterweight. It's part of a larger plan: simulate everything Canelo might throw at him, power, pressure, timing, and relentless bodywork, and then figure out how to solve it in the limited training footage. Crawford has allowed the public to see he looks sharp, throwing crisp jabs, varying his combinations, and keeping his stance switching fluid. What's striking, however, is the noticeable increase in his bulk for a man who campaigned at 147 for so long, now pushing toward 168.
The combinations and a very strong fighter, he, facing him off, he's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too...
Added mass is hard to ignore to some. It's a red flag. Will he be slower? Has he traded speed for strength? Others argue it's a smart adaptation. He's maintaining his signature sharpness while acquiring the frame to absorb. Canelo's thewing shots' social media responses were predictably divided. Some fans marveled at how clean and fluid Crawford still looked at the heavier weight, sharp as hell. One said, he went up in weight, gained more power, and maintained his speed. No. But others weren't convinced, expressing concern that the added muscle might slow him down or sap the explosiveness that has made him arguably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. But the transition to a bigger weight isn't just physical. It's psychological. And Crawford, ever the technician, seems completely unbothered by the magnitude of the leap.
I think you're going to stop Canelo Alvarez.
I don't got to stop him. I just got to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. When I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. Being that these big guys are slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might...
I'm the type of guy who likes to feel my fighters out and adjust to what they're doing, he explained when asked about the weight jump. I think that's my greatest attribute, to be able to figure out every opponent I've faced thus far. That approach, that confidence in his adaptability, has become Crawford's defining trait. He doesn't blow through opponents with overwhelming force. He breaks them down, He analyzes in real time, then dismantles piece by piece against Canelo, a fighter who has made a living. Walking down opponent's Crawford's goal will be to disrupt the rhythm, pivot off angles, and smother Canelo's forward momentum. And there's more to it than just training. The stakes are enormous. Not just for Crawford, but for boxing Turkey. Alalshik, the Saudi advisor behind many of the sport's recent mega events, described this upcoming showdown as the biggest fight in boxing. And history in the last 10 years or maybe more, he's not exaggerating. This isn't just a title fight, it's a pound-for-pound decider, a legacy-cementing moment for two of the sport's most dominant figures. Alalshik made the announcement with pride, thanking not just the fighters, but Netflix SATKO Nick Khan and the entire machinery that made this event possible. Crawford versus Canelo is being marketed as the one, and it carries every bit of that weight.
You know, then I started sizing them up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it, and I'm like.
The branding deliberately echoes Canelo's 2013 clash with Floyd Mayweather. Only this time, Canelo is the elder statesman defending his throne, and Crawford the one looking to carve his place into the annals of greatness. The entire production is designed for global spectacle. Netflix is streaming the bout, making it accessible to its 300 million subscribers. The move to a streaming platform, especially after Netflix's success with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, signals a shift in how boxing's biggest nights are packaged and delivered. That fight pulled 108 million viewers for the main event alone. Crawford versus Canelo, with its far higher stakes and broader appeal, could very well surpass that number, pulling in casuals, diehards, and international fans alike. The three-city press tour that starts June 20th, Riyadh, New York, and Las Vegas mirrors the promotional blueprint of old-school blockbusters, with each stop designed to escalate hype and create talking points. And Canelo, he's not treating this like just another defense. This is his era, his weight, his house, after resecuring the IBF belt by beating William Skull in Saudi Arabia.
You get to see Canelo and see if he's able to maintain the 168-pound division. You know, he's been there for quite some time, and we've seen Canelo go up to 75 to fight Bivol. It didn't look too well for him, you know, but we'll see. I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, Canelo has to do his part in winning and collecting another belt to become undisputed once again in that weight class against William Skull. So it's a great matchup. I think that is definitely eye-pleasing for the crowd.
Canelo now holds all four major belts. At 168, Crawford was ringside that night, watching closely, and the tension between the two was evident. Even before the post-fight face-off, Canelo wasted no time reminding fans and Crawford of what he believes is the pecking order. He's a great fighter, Canelo said, but he's not Canelo on September 13th in Las Vegas. I remind the world who runs this era. There's confidence in his voice, but also a warning. Crawford isn't coming up to 168 to be competitive. He's coming to take over, and Canelo knows it. This fight is also being used as the global debut for Zuffa Boxing Dana White's long-rumored entrance.
Crawford to win this fight. Crawford's very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. You know, facing him off, he's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. You know, one punch at a time. You know, I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too.
Into the sweet science White's involvement, along with the Saudi promotional machine, and Netflix's global streaming power makes this one of the most layered, commercially aggressive boxing events in recent memory. It's not just about who wins, it's about who commands the future of the sport. The size difference can't be ignored. Crawford is moving up 14 lbs from his last fight, a win over Israel Madrimov, for a fighter who spent years perfecting his game at 147. That's no small leap, and while he did fight at 154 recently, 168 is Canelo's backyard, a weight class where he's dismantled bigger men like Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders. The challenge Crawford faces is multidimensional. He has to match the physicality without losing precision, withstand the body shots without becoming static, and execute his game plan without letting Canelo set the pace.